Warning. The following episode of Long in the Boot contains non-professional advice, dubious facts, and questionable conjecture. G. Long and Deb are not licensed or certified in any state to offer relationship advice or counseling. Therefore, acting on any advice offered by Long in the Boot is at your own risk and somewhat silly. Please listen thoughtfully. Greetings, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Long in the Boot podcast, the podcast coming to you from the heel of the boot of Southwest Louisiana. Well, it's been an exciting couple of weeks, hasn't it? Oh, my goodness.
Always.
Oh, hey, forgot about you. Wait, hang on. Hey, everybody, I'm G. Long, and this is my co-host, Deb.
Hello.
I'm dropping the lovely Deborah because, I don't know, just we
Times being what they are.
She told me to stop it. And that's really what happened. And so if you want to reach me or Deb, please email us at longintheboot@gmail.com, or you can always call the number 337-502-9011. And if I answer the phone, hey, bonus.
It does happen. It
certainly happened last week. Hey, Josh. Anyway.
It was a nice surprise.
It was a nice surprise. Love talking to anybody who's willing to listen to our blather. And
no negative connotation words. We don't need that.
Positive blather.
There you go.
But anyway, also the website, longintheboot.com, is gradually coming along.
It's coming along.
All the past episodes are now there, cataloged there. Ooh. So you can go back and listen to the past episodes as well as, well, I guess this episode as soon as I get it, posted there.
Eventually. Yes.
And that way you don't have to go to any special place. You just go to longintheboot.com, and there are past episodes if you'd like to listen to any of our previous.
Yes. And you'll
episodes.
Be expanding as
I'm expanding
you continue to learn the program.
Going to have some merch eventually.
Yes.
And got some cool stickers coming away that we're going to give away.
Yeah.
I like those stickers.
I think they look very professional.
We had a lot of input over the past couple of weeks about the salty language question. And a salty language, man, what a landslide.
I think it's just a natural progression of where we are as people.
Well, that
society.
And just face it, people like to hear other people cussing. It's clear.
Is that what it is?
Oh, absolutely.
No, I don't think that's true at all. I think there's a good percentage that don't want to hear it at all. But again, times being what they are.
Well, they should have voted then.
It voted.
You can't complain.
If you
don't vote.
Well, yeah, but a podcast is a small thing, and they can turn that off.
That's true, or download it and save it for later, like a good chicken wing.
Okay.
It's just a thing.
It's just a thing?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not privy to that.
Wanted to do a special shout out to one of our listeners.
Yes.
Bailey Memorial Woodwork, located right here in the area.
A young man, a former student who does some beautiful work. Yes, you can get...
He's on Facebook.
He is on Facebook. We'll put a link from our Facebook to his. We'll add that too.
Absolutely. And eventually on the Long in the Boot webpage, I'll have a page with links of local folks who want me to go ahead and post stuff and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Share the wealth.
That's right. Value for value.
There you are. That's a nice way to say it.
I think so. I'm stealing that from someone, but that's okay.
Everything gets absorbed into it will be absorbed.
So how you been?
I've been well.
Okay, well, That's good.
That is a good thing.
Well, I guess that's a show.
I know.
All right,
in these times, we can't ask for more than that, I think sometimes.
I guess we're done.
We've been doing stuff. We've been planning to move the studio.
We're in the process of moving the Long in the Boot studio to a much larger studio.
Across the hall.
At least an additional 12 square feet.
Which will give us some more capabilities.
A little more space, a little more...
soundproofing. A little more professional environment. So we can continue.
As professional as we're going to get. But
well, that way we can, now that COVID is dying down.
I'm going to learn how to play with a green screen. I'm pretty excited about that.
Now that COVID is dying down, we can actually get some guests.
Wait, COVID died?
Dies down.
Dies down. Gotcha.
Yes. I think that's what's happening. I'm really confused.
I don't know.
But I feel like it is this time. So,
well, yeah, but you can't forget about the variants.
Well, I know, but
and the mutants.
Facts being what they are these days,
what facts?
Yeah. Well, see, I just don't know what to believe. So I'm going to go with my gut. I believe that it is dying down.
Just listen to your gut.
And
forget that science crap.
Our future, we want to have some guests come in. We have lots of talented friends who I think could come and share their creative talents with us and
sure
enhance the show.
I think so as well.
Yes.
Well, there we go.
So they don't have to hear us all the time.
So we put out the video Sunday saying we were going to talk about relationships.
Yes, that is something that happened in the last 2 weeks.
Well, you started a new relationship?
No. Oh, Lord, no.
Oh, okay.
Oh, we would never do that again.
That's crazy.
I'm not saying it's bad.
The only new relationships I'm starting are with dogs.
Yes, or cats, because they seem to
show up
like us as well. And we are not the kind of people who will just throw them out.
We're a soft touch.
I guess so.
The word got out.
Yeah, you still have to act right. You can't come into our family and act up.
No. You gotta be good.
You gotta be good. So we are going to talk about relationships. We saw the whole ordeal. I actually didn't watch the interview.
Which interview?
The interview with Oprah and the royals or the ex-royals.
Oh, right.
Yeah, all that drama. I actually just feel a little sad for all of it. I mean, there's to have to live your whole family life in the public like that all the time.
In a fishbowl.
Yeah.
Well, she didn't, and I don't think she was prepared to do it.
But she was famous here.
But not the same
paparazzi.
way.
No,
not
it's a different
close.
level. All right.
Yeah,
it is.
And so you've got him. He's lived that entire. And not only was he born to live in a fishbowl, then his mom dies and it makes it even more of a fishbowl. They had to do all that grief and everything else in the full public eye.
Yeah, so I didn't even watch the video. I saw a couple little clips, but it's all just sad.
I saw some clips, and I know that there was some accusations of racism in the.
Oh, shocking that the British family.
I'm shocked that the British royal family, who are actually Germans.
Oh, now you're going to go there too? Ooh.
I'm not saying all Germans are racists.
No,
I'm not saying that at all.
No, you're just being sarcastic.
But pointing out that in the past there has been some indication
of that kind of behavior. All right. Well, anyway, so as far as their relationship goes, we were talking about that conversation was happening, and their history of marriage in the royal family and how that's gone. I mean, to give up the throne, to give up the title.
Well, he didn't really give up the throne unless his brother dies.
Yeah, no. I'm talking about Wallace Simpson. We go.
Oh, way back.
Yeah,
you're going way back.
Yeah, but the point is that somebody stood up for love and said, I don't need to be king.
True love.
True love.
It never dies.
Well,
to blave. They distinctly said to blave.
To blave. Sad. Okay, we watched Princess Bride in the past week.
He was only mostly
was that
dead.
Our anniversary movie? I
think it was our anniversary.
I think it might have been. That kind of fell on that day. We got married on a Friday the 13th.
We did. It was so romantic the way that all played out. I mean,
no,
I woke up and I rolled over and I said, "Hey, babe, it's Friday the 13th. Let's get married."
It'd be funny if we just went and got married today, because we had been running into some, his friends saying, "Why are you going to marry her?" And my friends saying, "Why are you going to marry him?" And I said, "Why am I going to pay for a big wedding and a party for all these people?
Why are we going to spend all this money?"
And so we just went and did it.
We just went to Beaumont.
Yes.
Went to a judge.
Judge Violet.
Judge Violet.
I don't remember what her last name was, but I'll never forget that.
Doesn't matter.
Anyway.
We grabbed a couple friends, said, "Hey, you want to go to Beaumont? Why? We're getting married." And then we went to Luther's and had ribs.
Yes, you said that, and I actually did not remember it that way.
Yeah.
I didn't remember stopping at Luther's.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Ribs, man.
I don't know. I don't eat them.
That was a really special day because those ribs were
I agree.
delicious.
I do miss Luther's, even though I did not eat the ribs.
And the wedding, I guess.
It worked out.
It wasn't a wedding. It was just a marriage.
Yeah, it was a commitment of some kind. A piece of paper. Well, all your papers.
Yeah, got those right here.
Yes, we do.
But they do. Texas does have a really nice marriage license if it still looks the same. It was kind of cool.
It was very beautiful. And,
giant star on it and all that.
Yeah. So
anywho,
we continued on that path for another.
So we started talking about relationships and started thinking about how the relationships were in the past and where they're going now. Because wow, that's a whole nother country.
Well, I have a theory. I think as we discussed this, that it's kind of come full circle.
Well, to a point.
Well, yeah, just technology has made it a little different vehicle, but it's still full circle.
But let's talk about this idea of romantic love because
romance.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were so romantic.
When?
I don't know. I don't know when.
When was that?
I'm being sarcastic.
Oh, well, now you're insulting me.
Not that you know. All right.
Anyway,
Past.
so
what was it about? What was it like in the history?
Well, first of all, why did people start developing this idea of romantic love? We got to go back really right to the beginning because since we don't have sharp teeth and sharp claws, we can survive.
Well, metaphorically, we do.
We can survive by becoming attached to each other.
Sure. Tribes.
And that ability helps us survive. It's not romantic really necessarily, but it is true. So we developed this ability to emotionally bond into communities and families where we more or less have to cooperate with each other.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Mutual cooperation is vital to, living.
And clearly that worked because, well, we've eaten all the things pretty much that we're going to eat us. And some more and
corralled them and
and did all that great stuff. And we tend to, you got to think about it. We develop loyalty and affection for the people that give us back the most loyalty and affection.
That's the theory. Yes. Ideally.
So is that what love is? That's the question. Is love really truly just an irrational degree of loyalty and affection?
I hope not. I hope that's not all of it.
It has to be irrational somewhat.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, if you were willing to, say, die for somebody because you love them, technically as a person trying to survive, that's kind of irrational. You would give up yourself to preserve another self. It goes against your own
survival instinct. And so that must be love because you're rising above the primitive.
Well, yes, but is it irrational? I looked up Plato.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize we were going this far back in history.
I'm going way back.
Wow.
Because Plato had an argument about love. He actually discussed romantic love and what he called brotherly love.
Well, sure.
All right.
Agape love.
But here's the thing. Plato said that romantic love was not as important as brotherly love.
Romantic was not as important as.
And the reason is because, as he pointed out, romantic love and sex make us do crazy, ridiculous things.
So that's the irrational aspect.
Most people in Plato's time looked at the idea of romantic love as almost with skepticism.
Well, but isn't it okay? Because really in a long-term relationship, that romantic love kind of dies into or moves into a different type of love, a deeper type of love. The romantic part is just the initial crazy. That is the crazy time.
Well, what do we call, though, today? What do we call brotherly love or love without sex? It's platonic. Plato.
I see what you did there. You are clever.
Why, thank you.
That's why I keep you. and the tasty noms.
And the food.
Yes. And the food.
For most of human history, in fact, romantic love has been looked at as almost a sickness or a mental illness.
Oh, I could see that. And in the beginning, I would say it is a sickness or a mental illness, especially as someone who taught middle school for so long, watching every spring.
Young people do really
they really do. We've got years of stories of that.
Well, Shakespeare gave us one, didn't he?
Yeah, absolutely.
People always look at Romeo and Juliet and they're like, oh.
No, it's a cautionary tale.
Absolutely.
But it's not so much about the families.
They're crazy.
The kids are crazy.
Kids are crazy and do stupid.
It's lunacy to think that in one night they fell in love and then they get married and die for each other. Well, now we're back to the whole sacrificing yourself for another.
And think about all the times that romantic love caused problems. I mean, the Trojan War. Hello.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thousands of people
Those
died
fires burn, don't they?
because he couldn't keep it in his pants.
Well, maybe it's just lust then. So then it's the insanity.
Well, how do you know?
Okay. So we've established then that early love is the insane part. It's the insanity time.
Well, yeah, but you can move forward in history. I mean, the ancient Greeks, Plato and all that, but you got the Middle Ages and really up through into the 1700s at least. I mean, romantic love's always been around.
Yeah,
but that wasn't the driving force for relationships.
We all know that marriages were arranged and usually for some economic gain or territorial gain.
Right. I mean, there were fields to plow.
Those were the upper echelons of society. Those people.
But even the lower classes, the parents still
just
arranged
on a lower
marriages.
Level. Yeah, a couple pigs or
sure.
Yeah, all right.
Whatever.
All
horses,
right, I'll give you that.
You name it. It's not that people weren't still, making the beast with two backs, but I know you like that.
No, I don't.
Oh, that's a great one.
No, it's
okay.
not. No.
Well, we'll edit that out.
Be more clever.
Not editing anything.
Okay. No, that would take work.
All right. Well, I'll have to come up with a better term.
All right. We'll work on that.
Yeah.
You can submit your suggestions.
Euphemisms.
There we go. An episode of euphemisms.
Ooh.
Like a Letterkenny style.
Put it in the book.
Yeah, write it down.
So anyway, marriage was arranged by families. People did not get married for romantic love.
No, that was
crazy
18th
talk.
18th century, that kind of came.
We know how it worked. The lady married the guy with the money and then banged the stable boy.
But there's still a percentage of the population now. That's never gone away. I mean,
they're still banging stable boys.
Well, I mean, now that
metaphorically,
probably, yeah, pool boys,
chauffeur, instead of the stable boy.
We need to watch that movie.
Yeah. So originally marriage, romantic marriage, really didn't exist. Marriage was kind of a business arrangement, an economic arrangement to protect what you already had.
Yes,
and
to grow your stockpile.
Yes,
and to create more of a tribe
and create more of you.
People. Yeah, add more people.
We're a little selfish that way. What are children really but little versions of us? You know what this world needs?
So
more
adorable.
of me.
So adorable, and it's one of the easiest things we can do.
So we'll move into closer to the modern age, the industrial age.
Oh, that's where I thought you were starting. I'm over here with all my Victorian era.
Oh, well, okay. That's where I'm going. So This is the period at which things change. And what changes is marriage became untied to economic wealth.
Yes.
It became untied to land or untied to borders or houses or whatever.
Well, and then that gave rise, because women then had some say so. That was something that they were sort of autonomous with for the first time. Like they were actually able to make choices.
Right.
Of
And
their
marriage
own.
was no longer a duty, which it was before.
Well, because women then started going to college, that small percentage of the population of women who were willing to say, you know what, I don't think I want to do that. I would rather go learn something, because, before that, women were encouraged not to learn too much.
Well, that's part of the Enlightenment.
Yes, exactly.
People began to actually seek happiness. That doesn't, there's nowhere do you see that in the earlier times.
Yeah.
People talking about seeking happiness.
I think they were probably doing it around their hearth, but it didn't get out.
They didn't really recognize it for that.
Yeah.
It didn't have. It
was
didn't take on the same
probably a
meaning.
yearning of
There's
some
a good
kind.
chance if you were seeking happiness, you were probably being sinful.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Remember, anything
that's true.
fun was bad.
Yeah, I'm thinking about the Puritans. I know we've been doing our timeline. In fact, your history classes and my English 3 are kind of coming together, and the kids are connecting ideas, and it's a beautiful sight. Beautiful.
A beautiful thing to behold.
It is.
The age of romanticism, the Victorian age, and the Victorian age was a little uptight on the surface, but man, they were
a little hotbed underneath.
Oh, there was a seething.
Read the poetry.
So the idea of getting married for love, started to work its way into society, and the idea of About 150 years ago, a term started appearing in literature occasionally, especially fairy tales and children's stories, which was happily ever after.
Oh, yes. And now it's an expectation.
Is it though?
Well, ideally, you know how people, if you're a realist, you recognize this is the ideal and this is what I can hope for. But the other part of you that lives in the reality world knows that it's going to be less than ideal.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean it's going to be bad.
I still think that there was probably a kind of a, depended on your economic class and what you did for a living.
Yeah.
There was still that element of, getting married. People didn't get married and think we're going to live happily ever after. You got married and you just said, well, we're going to be married.
Well, and we each have a role to fulfill. And, you had the domestic goddess period when women were meant to be home, taking care of the children and the spiritual aspect and keep the house clean minutes. And have, martinis ready for their husband when he got home.
And to be wearing only an apron.
Sometimes. But that idea, that couldn't last. That couldn't last.
Yeah. Yeah.
And maybe I guess that's still an ideal for men, and they think that that's what's going to happen. Some get married with that expectation.
Do they?
I don't know. I don't know what men think.
I hope not.
I don't know what women think either, though. So.
Well, but you are one.
Yeah, but I'm far from the normal female. Norm? Yeah, I think so.
So you're saying you're mentally ill is what you're saying?
No, I'm just saying my experience was with nothing but males my whole life. So,
well, as a perfect male, I can speak for all men.
Well, you can't claim that. You cannot claim that. And I know the truth, sir.
Shh.
All right. Audience, he's blushing right now.
I'm overweight. I admit it. But other than that.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah.
I can't grow hair.
So women's roles, because women's roles were changing, because society is always changing, marriage was changing. Expectations had to change.
I think so. I think expectations had to change for sure as we moved into the 1900s. This idea that, you could be happy, that someone could make you happy. I kind of wonder, though, when you say, I want to get married because I think that person will make me happy for the rest of my life, that's
a trap.
That's a trap that people set themselves up for all the time.
Trap, yes. No, you're hoping.
It's a trap.
My expectation is that I've got a partner, not a child or that I have to rear. We're going to grow together. It's a partnership. And I think that's the more modern relationship view, whether you get married or not.
That's
right.
That you put away childish things if you're a man. Speaking of which, have you seen my PlayStation controller? I haven't been able to find it.
No, you know where it is. It's in your man cave. So
that's right.
Don't even act like that.
Yeah, I wouldn't
act
lose
like
that.
I moved that. I don't touch that stuff.
It's almost like I'm married to it.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. I think we got women and men both that sometimes their romantic view of what they think a relationship is, especially young.
Well, but I think that's the natural progression. I think most of them come around to, the reality of it and say, okay, now we've either got to make a decision to move forward with this and figure it out, or we part ways now. Hopefully there aren't children involved at that point. Hopefully you figure that out before you have kids.
Hopefully.
Yes, hopefully. And if not, well, enjoy the ride.
And if you think, and young people without kids, if you think kids will fix a broken relationship.
No, kids are just going to make it so much more challenging.
Wrong.
And not that that's not doable. Of course it is. Of course it is. It happens all the time, more so than the other way, I think.
Listen to the experts here, kids.
But
it won't happen.
You just have so much to learn about the other person and about yourself. I mean, you're still growing
that's
too.
That's true as well. You should. I see so many people who get married really quickly.
You mean their age or the young?
I'm talking about young people because we get to observe this a lot.
Yeah, we do.
And being the fine educators that we are.
Well, Facebook allows that. I don't like Facebook a lot, but That's one
And
aspect.
I love seeing the students who've grown up and they
their
get
little
married
families,
and they do their little families
and especially
and they
the
make their
ones
little babies.
who were in relationships in school, or maybe weren't in a relationship with each other in school, but then later.
There's quite a number actually that we've observed that are still together many years later, with children, and everything's going great and hunky dory.
And their little minis, and
their little mini me's,
because their kids look like they did when I got them. You know, seventh, eighth grade.
It's kind of amusing.
It is. It's sweet.
And
y'all are adorable.
Yeah, but stop aging because you're making us age.
Yeah,
with you.
Boy, isn't that the truth?
People suck for doing that to us. Anyway,
again, natural progression, Mr. Long. We're just moving along the path.
Sure.
Yeah. And here we are 38 years later.
But I've also seen this thing where people aren't even friends. I mean, actual friends, but they get married. Young people.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess.
It's all romance
but
in their heads.
But that's my point, that those first 4 years that we had before the kids came along was the time we got to be closer.
But even
friends.
before that, we were friends.
Well, yeah. We moved in together really quickly. So you're but it was
we
relationship,
moved in together
platonic.
The first time we roomed together, we were roommates.
Yes.
There was no
romantic. It was platonic.
Yeah.
That's our word of the day. And
we had lots and lots of conversations at the bar where we met.
Yeah, where you almost got shot for arguing with me. Mm.
Yeah, well, you didn't go back to college, did you?
Not till much later. Not till the most difficult point in my existence.
Won that argument. Thank you.
It just took you a while.
Proved that.
Is that why you stuck around?
That's it.
just to get back at me.
And of course you gave me a ride during a very, very cold night.
I think that was the
walking
beginning
the 2.5 miles home.
You know, that was almost like the marriage night, our discussion though, because I think really what it was the two people who were mooching off of me for a ride were also in my car going, "Don't pick that trash up." And I said, "You know what?
That was me. I was trash there. They were calling me trash.
No, that is what they said.
I know.
And, you know, they weren't giving me gas money, and I was bringing them home every night too. So it's my car. You cannot tell me who I cannot pick up. So I stopped and picked you up. I took them home first because they pissed me off. Pissed me off. And I dropped them off, and then I took you home, and we had a nice long conversation.
Yep. Just driving around talking.
Just talking.
Yep.
Sat in that parking lot in the apartment complex for quite a while too.
Yeah. Just talking. Because
I grew up talking to males, so it was very easy and natural, and I didn't feel threatened by you. I wasn't unsafe in my car with you. Some I would not have taken home.
Once I took off the duct tape, I mean, you felt plenty safe, I'm sure.
I was much better at that point. But there were not a lot of people I worked with in the kitchen there that I would have taken home and sat in the car with.
Right. Well, you didn't take me home. You didn't go that far.
No.
You brought me home.
I brought you to your apartment. I just did not go up to the apartment.
That's true. You did not.
No. Until I finally just moved in.
Yeah, no kidding.
And then I just moved in.
Actually, somebody moved out.
Somebody moved out. You needed a third. And
so there you go. She moved in.
And you never left again.
Yeah, I guess so. And then when that roommate moved out, we had to go.
We couldn't afford the place anymore. We had to get a smaller place. So then we had to decide.
Part of the reason he moved out, though, was because we were trying to keep a relationship a secret from everybody.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell that was all about.
That didn't work out. Those walls are way too thin for that. Yeah.
I'm so sorry. Apologize to these nice people.
I'm sorry, nice people.
Okay.
Anyway, so there you go. But yeah, so that's why we're experts on relationships.
No, that's not why we're experts. We are far down the path. We know some people who are even farther down the path of a long-term relationship and marriage.
Absolutely.
So I just think that as you move on, you have that past experience but today relationships are even more complicated than even when we were trying to put together our relationship.
Well, I think part of the problem, though,
more than almost 4 decades ago.
I think media needs to take some of the blame. Well, not even social media in general.
Oh, because for the expectations.
Hollywood, when Hollywood started out in the silent era, not so much. But when we hit the time where you could talk, Hollywood begins selling this idea of happily ever after.
That's
and they
very
have been
true.
beating us over the head with it ever since.
Those 50s women in their heels.
Think about all the
pearls.
romantic comedies that Hollywood churns out.
Yeah.
And they're all about that, right? It's, you can live happily ever after.
Yeah, what's the Avett Brothers songs? It's love's not like in the movies.
Yeah, love ain't like it is in the movies.
No,
and the thing is, really, if you think about it, with Hollywood selling that idea to everybody, really wasn't that just marketing?
Well, sure. It's always marketing. That was the thing about Valentine's. I had read something about Valentine's Day, and the woman Esther, I think Howland or something, 1847. She graduated from college, so you already know she's like a trendsetter.
A troublemaker.
Yeah, that's your word, man. So she graduates from college and she begins making these really nice artistic Valentines, but if you were a man truly interested in a woman and you had an intimate relationship, you gave her a Valentine that you made. But if it was, one of the guys who's just following after her, but he's not really intimate with her yet, they don't really know each other very well, you're just going to go buy an off-the-shelf made Valentine. So
I don't believe in Valentine's Day.
That woman ended up hiring other women to create. I know you don't believe in Valentine. Listening audience, Mr. Long does not believe in Valentine.
Nope. It was created. It was created to sell cards and candy
Mrs.
and crap.
Long, well, actually, I just buy what I want.
Don Draper on Mad Men said, "What you call love was invented by guys like me to sell nylons."
And I
there you go.
That.
That's Valentine's Day. Anyway, we got sidetracked. Valentine's Day. Don't buy it. Don't believe in it.
Yeah,
Men, stand up for yourselves and stop it. It's nonsense. It was.
And myself as a female, I got over it because, again, I didn't really care myself.
I have certain principles, and that's one of them.
And if I want something, I just go buy it.
That's what I say.
Or I don't, because I don't have the money.
Yeah.
And I'm reasonable enough
candy,
to know.
It doesn't have to come in a heart-shaped box.
No.
Just go get some freaking candy.
I get it. I don't care if you buy me a plant, though. Something I can.
I've done that.
Yes. Put in the ground.
That's right. Living
Yeah,
plant.
don't give me cut flowers.
Yeah. Here's some death in a vase.
That's not me, no.
So,
I lost so much in the freeze. My daddy's ficus is 22 years old.
Yeah, well.
I thought it was covered. I thought it was a hard freeze. Louisiana.
Like us, it was cold.
It's right on the edge there.
I know,
Very
you
good.
like that?
Very good.
But anyway.
I said something earlier, though, so it's already
But think about all the things that they've used now romantic love, and this idea of happily ever after.
You just won't let that go.
No, I won't, because think about marketing. Think about how much money it generates.
Do you think expectation then is what causes divorce?
Well, first of all, you're not going to be happy all the time ever.
Oh,
anyway.
no, it's a roller coaster.
So happily ever after is nonsense. That's
you know what? You know what you need ever after is a sense of humor
and a paycheck.
And a paycheck. You got to work.
You got to work.
You've got to work. That's one. My dad loved you because you worked.
The fact is that love in relationships can be painful.
Absolutely.
They can be very
Take
unpleasant
your heart
at times.
And twist it.
I mean, we've never fought.
Okay. Yeah. He's misleading you again. Fact checker Bella, where are you?
Don't get her started. It's all been lies. All of it. The real work of a relationship really, truly is boring. I mean, honestly.
Oh, the tedium of the routine.
To make it work, to make a relationship actually work, there's a lot of drudgery and unsexy things that nobody sees.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's the true test of a relationship.
Oh, yeah. Can you still
I tell people all the time, it's
go on a trip together or build something,
together.
Live together. That was my daddy's thing. When we were living in sin, as he said, the first couple of years is when we moved into a smaller place and didn't get another roommate and shared a room. He was a little put off by that because of his traditional values and upbringing, I guess. But my question to him was, would you have married my mother had you lived with her prior to getting married? And although my mother was a wonderful person, I don't think they were right for each other.
Right.
So he did not say anything, but then he never said anything about us living together again.
And that's the thing. When you when you see it in media or read about it in books, it's always you get the highlight reel.
Yeah.
You don't get all the other
you don't,
stuff.
Well, no, you're not going to see all of that. I knew that. We worked with a lady who was married to somebody a little bit younger than her at one point, and we had a conversation, and she said something about, well, we've been married 5 or 7 years, and we've never even seen each other use the bathroom. They didn't get dressed or undressed in front of each other,
or with the light on. It was like,
and I was like, I came to you, and I was like, we talked about it, and that can't last. They can't stay married.
You got to have the light off to even get undressed, so the other person can't see. So
I don't think that can last long term, and know that it didn't.
And we've seen the stories. You need to make sure that the person you're married to is in fact, well, let's just say it, the correct gender that you thought you married. How many times have we seen that story?
I don't know that we've seen it that many times.
But it's happened.
Well, so I don't think it's so common.
And when we read that story, we went, how in the world did that happen?
You know what? I don't want to know the mechanics. You just live your life. Live your life. I don't care.
I don't care.
No,
But I think you should check out. I
can't believe you think you'd be worried about that.
I think you should check out the goods. That's all I'm saying.
So often.
It happens every day.
So you're telling people to sin and fornicate prior to legal marriage? Or,
absolutely.
Religious marriage.
Well, no, marriage is a contract.
Yeah, but it's also
you don't have to get married in the church. That part is a ceremony. Well, you get a license from the state when you get married.
That's a whole other.
So
but you can.
That's an argument right there about the whole idea of marriage.
Well, I think that should have been the separation to allow.
Well, it is
gay marriage. That it's just not.
That's what it was.
Not the same
People
thing.
got really upset, but here's the thing: the government is trying to force even churches to do that, and I don't care one way or another about anybody's personal life, who they sleep with. I don't care.
Yeah, it doesn't affect us.
Doesn't matter. But let's not get too far off the track of realizing that marriage is a government recognized function of the state.
Yeah.
Really, truly, there should be no one that tells you that you have to have a piece of paper to be recognized as marriage.
Yeah.
I think personally, if you say it, that should be good enough. But we've tied everything to it.
Because you have to have documentation for
taxes and insurance.
Yeah, no, it's just it's the institution,
they've ruined the
bureaucracy.
Beauty of romantic life.
Oh, you're back to that again. It's just the bureaucracy of all of that paperwork and crap. And of course, look, what did it cost us $50 to get married? Had we ever wanted to get divorced? And I always thought that was kind of stupid too. It's so expensive to get out of it. That doesn't deter people from quitting on a relationship.
I guess what I'm trying to say is just because you love somebody doesn't necessarily mean you should be married to them.
Oh, absolutely not.
Or even live with them, actually. That's back to platonic love.
Yeah. You know what? We skipped over the commune time.
I hadn't got there. I was going to bring it up just because it was an attempt.
Because it's an attempt. And we've attempted that throughout history. I mean,
there was, just for a quick fun fact, many people, I am sure, have heard of Oneida Silverware.
Yeah, get your facts right. You've already screwed it up once, sir. And you say you'll leave it in.
I had it, and it went away. But that's okay. It doesn't matter because I have the book of knowledge at my fingertips.
You do. You shouldn't make any mistakes.
There was a group in the 1800s that actually tried to recognize that marriage between a man and a woman, and that's it, might not be the right way to go. But the weird thing is, we've all heard of them. The people, the Oneida Silverware,
yeah, of course,
comes from this group. They were the Oneida community in the 1800s up in New York, who also referred to themselves as the perfectionists or the Bible communists.
Bible communists. That's an interesting term.
And they're using the term communists as in commune like they had in France.
Yeah, okay.
But it was a utopian religious community that developed out of something called the Society of Inquiry.
Okay.
Yes. And it was a socialized community, a socialist community. It shared everything. Okay. And the guy that created it, he went to theology school, seminary. He graduated from the Yale Divinity School.
Okay.
He preached this doctrine of perfectionism, and it was the idea that after conversion, one was free of all sin, and because of that, he was never allowed to be ordained in the church that he was in.
Yeah.
So he began to form his own group, and he was convinced that the second coming of Christ had already happened. So their job was to create this utopia,
perfect world,
right.
perfect society.
But the guy, and by the way, if you want to look him up, his name was John Humphrey Noyes.
Noise?
Noyes. Noyes.
Noise.
But he had a lot of followers. And the thing that really got him in trouble, as far as the way people remember him, was his ideas concerning sexual union.
Well, of course.
He rejected monogamy. He said that the idea that one man and one woman should become closely attached together to each other was crazy. Plato. Hello.
Yeah.
The application of his views led to the practice of what he referred to as complex marriage.
Oh, yeah. All right.
Every man was every woman was the wife of every man, and every man was the husband of every woman.
All right. Well, that don't work for me.
Wait. He also believed that socialism without religion couldn't work, and that the extended family system devised by him could dissolve all selfishness.
Oh, yeah.
And demonstrate perfectionism on earth.
You want perfectionism out of people, especially people all living together and sharing everything. You've set yourself up for failure already.
And I could do a whole show on this situation because it becomes really fun. Very
convoluted, I'm sure.
The group flourished for 30 years. 30 years.
Okay.
People, they had kids. They stayed there.
Oh, I'm sure.
They farmed. They created steel traps that became very lucrative for the group. That eventually.
What were they, for the water or on land?
Steel traps for catching beaver animals in general. And eventually their enterprises included making silverware, embroidered silks, and also perfecting canning for fruit.
So they had some skills.
They clearly did. They had
and some marketing.
The society was really well organized, and it's really strange. The weird thing is, children were taken immediately from the couple that had them,
and socialized.
Because you wouldn't know,
part of the community.
The fact is, you wouldn't know who the child really truly belonged to, except for the mother, and they were raised as a group in a common nursery that all the men and women had to
all went
participate
out into
in
the world and.
Yeah, they stayed there. I mean, that was the thing. Eventually, it falls apart, and the long story short, what brought it all down was a woman.
Said, I'm not going to take this anymore.
And it got all weird and strange after that. But it was one of these utopian communities there. And the idea of utopias we've moved to the dystopian phase. Well, we're going to go there in an episode soon.
Okay.
We're going to talk about the dystopias.
Because literature and dystopias are
because I feel like there's a lot of people pushing us really hard to adopt one of the dystopias as the actual way of living today.
It does feel like that, doesn't it?
It certainly does.
So really the future of...
The future.
Yeah, the future of...
Let's get away from today.
Relationships, not so much marriage, because that really has changed.
And not just the future, but even now, marriage is changing.
Yes.
And first of all, for folks that want marriage to stay exactly the way it's been, it's not going to.
Well, there'll be a percentage. That's my point.
There's
be a
percentage.
Always a small group that want to hold on, or that's their belief. And
if you've got a religious faith based beliefs that say that will always be that way, that's great for you.
And that is part of your
and you have every right in the world, and every group out there that has that.
And that's the point. You've never had as much freedom as you have now. I think technology is
that's got to be a real challenge, actually.
Well, it does, and that's kind of my thought about this full circle, where now it's not so much family picking somebody for you. Now women in many cases are just like, okay, fine, let's let the computer do it. I trust a program. Men trust a program. We're just
listen to the science.
Exactly.
Here's the guy you should bang.
If the computer program says we're compatible, we meet and we think, yeah, all right, you look all right, I can do this.
Sure.
And we'll find out what it is.
The problem is there's guys out there that will game that, psychos.
Oh.
And be able to probably manage.
Well, but that's the risk out there too.
But then I guess that's true anyway.
It's always been true.
Yeah.
Now we just hear those stories.
That's true.
That's a lot of truth.
It's a lot of truth. A lot of truths right there. I think that, look, things are changing relationship wise for sure. Certainly besides the shift that we've had where gay relationships are much more accepted. But look, even just what, let's say 60 years ago, 70 years ago, if there was an interracial relationship, people were like,
oh yeah, I used to do the story with my 8th grade, I think, the Loving Family in the 50s, when they finally, that
was their name. They were the Loving Family,
and
they were a loving
interracial
family.
couple, and to have your spouse ripped out of the house.
The state said they couldn't. That's my point about marriage in general.
That's insane.
The state recognizes that you're
cohabitating and you're allowed to live together.
That's insane.
It's just madness.
I'm sorry, you can't live with that person. Why?
But we love each other, and
their
we have
skin
children.
tone is different.
Yeah. Okay. Their family came from a different geographic area.
And so the big battle we had over the last 15, 20 years about gay marriage, I was like, why are you worried about it? I've never understood the fight. I understand the religious argument. I get that.
Oh yeah, I do. But it's not
But it's, to me, that comes down to, it's not your call. It's just not.
Yeah.
Nobody's relationship is anybody's call, except the other person involved in the relationship.
I think it's the sharing of the gospel. It's the spreading of the message, and they feel obligated to.
I understand that.
Yeah.
But sorry.
Yeah. It's their sin.
If anyone chooses to live with, provided they are not abusing a child or an animal.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, I know. That most recent of stories. Anyway, let's hang on. Let me do a quick brainwash. Okay. Anyway, the thing we're talking about with religion. Here we go again. With romantic love, we certainly have seen that it's changing. It's not going to stop changing, but I think people might be becoming slowly but surely more realistic.
Perhaps,
about relationships.
Yeah. Well, because modern life is very complex and requires a lot of us, and it spreads us very thin, and social media has added another element. I can't imagine us developing our relationship with social media.
Yeah, that's weird. See, to me, that's weird. I don't even know how that works.
I find that to be a challenge. But the point is that
I preferred a time when, if you didn't like who somebody was dating, you just were judgmental in your own head and gossiped about them.
Now you just
tell them on social media.
Now you just put it out there.
I know. It's kind of weird.
It's too much, and I'm impressed that you people are doing it.
Young people?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
I don't even know how you do it.
Congrats
for
making
that's a minefield.
Yeah, those of you out there that have found somebody and you're making it work.
Maybe people have to be more open now about relationships, because it's so much easier to get caught cheating in a relationship.
Yeah, maybe so. Or maybe they're just more willing to just say, you know what?
Who cares?
Yeah, it doesn't
I don't
matter.
care.
I don't know.
I don't know either. I'm old. What do I know?
I know that people will continue to make new people.
Yeah,
so that we continue on,
and they'll continue falling in love, as ridiculous as that is,
and they will go through that crazy period of madness.
But I'm telling you now, men, Valentine's Day is a lie.
Don't let it get you. Right?
In the future, I think we're going to see some really weird new stuff. First of all, we can't discount the robot situation.
No, AI is.
Well,
yeah.
So if we create a robot that has actual emotion,
feeling.
Then if somebody says they want to marry their robot.
Well, and then the ones where they can actually, if your dead partner had a lot of, it's just like the Black Mirror. We're back to that again.
Black Mirror.
Damn it, Black Mirror. You got it right again. You can have your person back to some degree with a computer program of their personality and their.
Well, in Japan, you can rent a family now.
Yeah.
To go on vacation.
To take with you, to try it out.
Yeah, it's you can get a female if you're a guy, or a male if you're a woman. You can get kids.
Well, wait. So they wouldn't allow a male to get a male?
I don't know. It's Japan. I don't know their rules.
Oh, yeah.
I would hope they wouldn't do that, but
I don't know.
I don't know.
Japan. Okay.
I don't know. But the idea of you can rent, and this is my favorite, you can rent a friend.
Well,
how is that a friend?
Escort services have always been a thing.
Well, I know, but this is different. I think because it's platonic. There's no expectation of sexual gratitude.
What if the rented party says, "Yeah, I'll give it a go"?
It's not part of the deal, man. You can still give it a go, but for the rental agreement,
you don't have to.
Right.
There's no expectation.
There's got to be an end
but
user
if both
license
people
agreement.
give
in this
each
deal
other
somehow.
a little wink, wink, nudge, nudge, and say, yeah, all right.
I can give you a hand.
Well, people being people.
And the newest thing, of course, is they're now saying that they can match people based on DNA and microbial. They use microbial matchmaking.
Microbial. So your gut flora?
I guess. I don't know. That's kind of gross.
Well, I guess down at the cellular level, but if it really works.
Well, we've done a fecal sample, and we now have your perfect match.
You had a hard time even getting that word out.
It just suddenly dawned on me.
Did you ever think
if they have dogs that can sniff people's butts to see if they have COVID, maybe that's what it is. Look, all you have to do is walk past the dog and bend over. We will find you a date based on the dog's barking pattern.
Yes. No, I imagine a Q-tip swab like they stick up your nose for the COVID and
hopefully not after they stick it up your butt.
Rectally get a sample.
Oh, that's terrible.
You never thought you'd be talking about that on a microphone.
Rectal dating.
all your on-air training with the radio station, you would have never said that. Never.
And I would have gotten busted for it.
And
probably.
now you've subjected the podcast listeners to that.
Yeah, but these people, they know me.
They're Randy. We've established that.
That's right. They're
Maybe
Randy.
that's it. Do you have some dating advice?
Dating advice.
We'll wrap it up because the future apparently is dirty, and we don't want to go there.
It's icky. Let's see. Men.
It's like that Woody Allen movie.
Men, no stampeding for the man in the boat. Let's see. What else?
Unless she asks.
Unless it's requested. Let's see. I think that for dating, for like early dating.
Brand new.
Brand new. Okay.
You're new out there.
First of all, women, don't expect men to pay for everything anymore. Stop it. Agree to cough up some money.
Okay. And because I never had a problem with that.
Well, there are more women graduating college now than men by far.
So they have
So here
money.
soon they're going to be making more money than anybody else. So if anything, women pay for the date. That's what I'm saying.
Not pay for it.
Sure, why not?
You know what?
I'm
it's
a
part
firm
of my
believer in equality.
Part of my independence was that I took care of my own part
That's
of
true.
it.
I know.
And you don't need to open the door for me. I know that
We never really
still,
dated, though. Not really.
Well, that's true.
We just kind of did stuff together. Maybe that's what dating should be.
Okay, so maybe that's the advice.
Find your commonalities.
Find a person that you enjoy doing stuff with, and y'all do stuff
And don't
together.
think you're going to change them radically.
No, you're both gonna.
If you get with somebody and he hates romantic comedies, for instance, and you love them, that's not going to change.
Well, but then couldn't you have the little compromise? Like he watches a romantic comedy, they agree like once a week. Communicate
Well, if he's
about
weak,
it.
yeah.
Now, shut up. Communicate about it. And ladies and gentlemen, talk about it. If there is something that you do not like and know that you cannot put up with long term, say something immediately.
True.
Because if you're quiet about it, then it's assumed to be okay. And if it bothers you a little bit to begin, you need to say something, and then that way, it doesn't blow up.
Right.
Because those little things will blow up on you, and you didn't even realize why it was happening. But basically something you weren't willing to take long term was starting to piss you off.
It was like the time that I completely shaved my face, completely devoid of hair.
That was
and you were
weird.
like, that cannot stand.
we
and you were
can't let
adamant.
that
would have been a divorce, I think.
It's not going to happen again.
No.
But but that way you do it much nicer when you're just a little peeved by it. As opposed to and he didn't know. How is he to know that you actually, because you've not said anything?
Yeah, you got to talk.
So if you don't say anything,
talk.
That's tantamount to
and
permission.
By the way, when you're going to have a conversation, don't start it with I.
No, that is what you say.
No,
I feel, I think.
Don't be accusatory.
Yeah, no, that's the point. You say I, not you.
Well, yeah. Okay, sorry,
don't say
got it backwards.
You give me this look, and I'm really just fed up.
You look
with it.
weird without facial hair.
And I will not be seen in public with you. Like the time I had 2 black eyes and you wouldn't go out with me.
No. Oh, no. People would have assumed immediately that I did that.
Yeah, you look like a big bully.
I know.
But anybody that knows me knows that wouldn't happen.
Everybody knows that I take her off the leash at least 3 times a day.
All right. If you don't know us, I'm sorry. That's just not true. If you do know us, you know it's not true.
No more than once
no
per
more
day.
than once. Okay. All right, Mr. Long.
Okay. Well,
G. Long and Deb.
Man, we have covered a lot of ground here.
There have been a lot of things said.
I think we've helped a lot of relationships.
I don't know.
I think we've prevented probably hundreds of divorces.
Hundreds?
Just with our advice
Well,
today.
actually, most people aren't getting married, so there's no need for divorce.
That's true. Birth rates are going down.
Okay.
Dramatically.
COVID is, well.
No, birth rates.
You're going to have quarantine babies,
Marriage
though.
rates are dropping like a rock.
Yeah, they are.
Birth rates are dropping like a rock, and not just in this country.
Japan, I know, has been
happening
in a negative for quite a while.
In almost all industrialized societies now, birth rates are rapidly dropping.
Japan, that was it. Adult diapers sell more than baby diapers.
Which, by the way, means we need immigrants in the United States if we want to keep having Social Security and all that kind of stuff. Just thought I'd point that out.
But they need to be legal. They have to give them the paperwork. We got a paperwork issue again.
Well, maybe we should just
that they can get jobs and pay taxes.
Maybe people.
Is that what you're
maybe
saying?
People should marry them. sponsor an immigrant by getting married.
That's when we say goodnight, Gracie. Right there.
What? That was solid advice. All right. If you've got any advice, marriage or otherwise, I'd love to hear it. I think it would be kind of fun.
Absolutely. Y'all post that on the Facebook.
Young people. And if you've got a horror story from first wife.
Oh, we'd love to share that.
I might even share it. I just would enjoy hearing it because I love that kind of stuff.
Just the drama. I didn't want to hear it for the little royal couple, though. I was just sad for those people.
Oh,
just let
don't be too sad. They're millionaires.
I know. Let everybody live their lives. Just,
And he clearly got the better end of the gene pool by,
No, we're not going there again.
Allegedly.
Okay.
Allegedly.
Okay.
Allegedly, he was the son of the
So, and your businesses. We had one taker, and I know that we have a lot of talented kids out there, young people.
Yeah, if you've got stuff you do, you create or whatever, tell me. And again, email me at longintheboot@gmail.com. You can call and leave a message. I might even pick up the phone.
The website is
337-502-9011. But there's no email at the website yet. But there is the contact information.
Yeah, you are working on that.
And we have the Facebook page that you can send us something anytime as well.
On that every day.
Man.
At some point.
I'm telling you, we have saved marriages today.
You made people happier.
That's right.
That darned happiness.
Filling them up with romantic love.
And I used a little spicy language. You'll still have to.
Yeah, I did too.
You still have to.
A little salt.
And pepper.
Yeah. Salt and pepper.
I don't think that's right.
All
right.
I guess that's it. I guess you have to say goodbye, Deb.
I do. I have to go garden.
All right. Well, you guys have a great week, and we'll be back real soon with another episode of Long in the Boot. Y'all take care.
Bye.